Hello, my name is Marvin Belfour. Welcome to my garden. We're on the land of Mississauga, Scugog Island, and I would like to do a tour. The garden is good size and it's been around on this property for 37 years, so it's a mature garden. The begonias here come from down in the garden path in Orono, and they are quite striking, I think. And the grass behind it is called a moor grass, and I've had that for good 30 years, and it is a nice grass because it doesn't spread, it just stays where it's put. At this stage in my life, I have tried to pick plants that are easy to look after and don't require as much of my time. And you can see that there are a lot of shrubs here. There's some lilacs, and there is a Japanese rainforest grass. The plant that's blooming here right now that's white is actually a clematis. It's a bush clematis. And bush clematis can be very nice, but not too many people know about them. There is another clematis just to the next of it, which is much smaller and has bell-like blue flowers. Every year I'll try to grow some annuals, and there are a few roses. This one happens to be blooming at the moment. And there's some penstemon, which is the red color plants. As we go down, you'll see what is called lady's mantle, and it will be blooming shortly. And you can see it's a wonderful plant for flower arrangements with the green coloration of the flowers. Wildflowers can be good in the garden as well. This is Thalectrum, and Thalectrum is actually a wooded garden plant, but it does really well in a garden. These 5 plants are called false indigo. It's an old-fashioned garden plant that used to be just blue, and that was all it was. But now you can see it's got the bronze, the purple, the yellow, another type of bronze, and then the white. My gardening does go beyond the fence. In fact, I have a shade garden down behind there, and you can see a whole lot of ferns and more lady's mantle and some hostas. This bed here is not in bloom yet, but it is where I have most of my daylilies. And again, grasses are nice, but sedges are nice too. And this is a sedge, and you can see it's in bloom, although for sedges, blooms are not terribly exciting. And this is a pagoda dogwood, and you'll notice the difference in the layering of branches. Rather than being upright, they're parallel to each other. To my right, I have a whole host of different types of peonies. This flower here was one of the ones highlighted by the Garden Festival a few years ago, Cora Louise. This garden is designed to have blooms all through the season, not just one part of the year. Some are new. This one, for example, I've just had for a couple years now, and it really is a nice one. One color that people don't see very often is this one here, which is morning lilac. And morning lilac is a unique color because you don't see that in too many of the peonies. This is out in full bloom as well. And then this is another Deutsche strawberry fields. This large tree here is a western sequoia. And that is deciduous. In other words, it loses its needles in the fall. But it has the effect of being protective to the house in the heat of the day. This is, again, you use ground covers, and that's what this is here in front of a bed, and serves the purpose. And I have a variety of plants here, grasses. I have Sweet William, which I love. And one plant that I really discovered this year, which I'm really pleased about, is this yarrow, which has the bright yellow and orange in it. And up on the deck here is a honeysuckle, and it has bright orange flowers. And this particular honeysuckle, when it's in bloom, the odor or the scent can be smelt all the way down to the bridge, which is quite a distance from here. As you can see, there are a number of pots, and I find that some plants are attractive when they are in pots. So again, more hostas. You can see I've had lots of hostas, and they've been here for a number of years now. And you can see some types of plants like the coleus actually looks nice in a pot, so I try to do that. Now we're rounding out back up to the front again, and of course there's the Japanese maple, which I've had for a number of years, and again it seems to like to grow really well. These plants here are called Linaria, and they look like miniature snapdragons, and you can only get them in a few places. Vandermeer has them, but you have to ask for them to get them. Well, thank you for allowing me to conduct this tour today, and I thank TD Canada Trust for sponsoring this tour.